Hi everyone, I'm here with Nicole and I'm so excited to hop on here really quick and talk about menstrual cycles. You might be wondering why me as a trumpet player and educator has to make a video about this, but I had a really incredible young student a couple months ago when I was giving a master class in Thailand ask me how the time of the month affects me as a musician and as a trumpet player. And so I'm so excited to be here with Nicole, who is such an incredible educator on this topic.
My name is Nicole. I am a nutritionist for women's health, specifically the menstrual cycle. So I talk all things period, menstrual cycle, from the first day of your period to the first day of your next period, to the full cycle. And it's really important for women to understand that our menstrual cycles affect every aspect of our lives, not just on our period or during PMS, but all throughout. And if you're able to understand how these hormonal fluctuations are impacting you, you can navigate your life a little bit differently and a little bit more informed.
How would you say physically our bodies are affected during the period cycle and then everything that happens before and after?
Yeah, so during the actual menstrual phase is when hormones are at their lowest. Then after the menstrual phase, your hormones, especially estrogen, start to rise, and then you ovulate, and then after ovulation, progesterone is high until the end of your cycle, where both hormones fall, and then it starts a new cycle to begin, right? And in and around menstruation, and really just prior to menstruation, as those hormones are falling, that can really affect your water retention, and that can affect your lips. It can make you feel a little bit less dexterous in your hands. Have you had that experience?
No, I honestly haven't, but the lips is huge. Like the water retention and like bloating or not bloating, like it's like such trumpet player things of when we talk about our face feels like tight or loose or things like that. And so like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. And it's like totally crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for me personally, like no matter how much water I drink or like all of these things, like it doesn't matter because yeah, it is hormonal. So it's just crazy. But the fingers too, that's wild.
And also your lung capacity. So usually in and around ovulation, you have the most stamina and the most lung capacity. So that's also another interesting thing to factor in. If you are, doing a rehearsal during ovulation and you feel so strong and powerful and all of that, but then here comes the performance and you're in your menstrual phase or your late luteal phase and you feel like you can't even get those breaths out.
Yeah.
A lot of that could have to do with the cardiovascular system and how your hormones may be affecting your stamina, your energy levels, and your lung capacity.
And for things like nerves, for an audition or a big performance, like then it's only impacted even more.
Totally.
Just totally wild. I remember you said something to me about how our hearing is affected, which was just mind-blowing.
I want to say it's like something like 5 decibels, but don't quote me on that. But we have slightly better hearing in and around ovulation where estrogen is really high.
Wow, we're like literally superheroes.
Yeah, we also have, absolutely. We also have, all of our senses are kind of heightened during that time. So we have better taste, smell, and hearing as well.
What would you say to people feeling those discomforts? Is there anything that we can do? Because of course we can't really control our hormones. So what can we do to sort of like reduce any sort of symptoms or discomforts?
You can't control your hormones, but you can support them, right? So if you're talking about in and around your menstrual phase and your late luteal phase where you're feeling this puffiness, things that can help is phase syncing, which is tailoring nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle to the phases of the menstrual cycle, because that helps overall your hormones be in better balance. Because a lot of what the water retention is too much estrogen in relation to progesterone. That's where we see it most often. So if you're phase syncing, you can make sure that those fluctuations aren't as intense or they're not impacting you as significantly. Also, some other things that could probably help is nettle tea. Nettle is a mild diuretic, so it helps flush out that water retention. So usually with women that have bloating during PMS and breast tenderness, anxiety, stuff like that, I will often recommend to drink a few cups of nettle tea. Also, if you get period cramps, nettle with raspberry leaf tea is really, really helpful. About 3 to 5 cups in the 3 to 5 days leading up, 2 to 3 cups in the 3 to 5 days leading up to your period. That can help reduce the water retention a little bit.
What do you do for cramps beyond just like a heating pad? Is that something that people suggest? Or?
Yeah, so the raspberry leaf tea is a game changer when it comes to it. Because the raspberry leaf tea is a uterine tonic, so that really helps with the cramps. And then the nettle tea is a mild diuretic. It also has a lot of nutrients in it. So that can help reduce cramps. Magnesium is also great at reducing cramps, especially magnesium glycinate taken at night. And then slight movement is really helpful too. Get the blood flowing. A lot of what cramps are, they're often also seen in too much estrogen in relation to progesterone. But a lot of cramps are caused by what are called prostaglandins, which are these compounds that our body needs to help the uterus constrict and contract. But if there's too many of them, then it can cause really severe pain, as well as spread into the other areas of the pelvis and then cause things like period poops. So
yeah, all you men out there, you don't know anything about what we experience. Welcome to our lives.
Seriously. So things that help with circulation can be helpful with that. So ginger, cayenne pepper can be helpful, but you want to be careful with that in case you're like sensitive to spicy things.
And how can people find you online?
All my socials are at Nicole.Bendayan, or my email is Nicole@NicoleBendayan.com.
Yeah, everything that we've heard on this time, I really want to check out some of your courses. So I'm hoping some people here are able to check them out as well.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.